do apologise for the lack of videos on this channel. This one has taken me a while to complete and you'll see why as we go through it. And along with that and work being quite hectic, it's been a crazy start to 2022, but I hope you guys are doing well. This video, as you can tell by the title, is how profitable is that Merin Car Key. People are running it and getting like crazy good stuff out of one trunk of a car on the Lighthouse map. People are using that single key to make thousands of rubles on the flea market by selling it for a marked key and 10 graphics cards, or a black key card or a green key card. There are crazy barter items at the moment on the flea market just to get your hands on this Merin Key. But is it worth it? Well, in this video that's exactly what we're going to be discussing. Thanks to some friends, I was able to run the Merin Car Key 100 times. It took me ages, hence the reason there's no videos, but I finally get a good understanding on just how much money you can possibly make from this key from buying or finding the key at 100 out of 100 uses and wearing it all the way down until it disappears from your inventory. Now previously, unlimited use keys were great. You could run them and then you'd make your money back, and then from there on you're making a profit. From now, all unlimited use keys previously and future keys that they've added, including the Merin Car Key, has a maximum of 100 out of 100 uses. And that's something which I'll discuss at the end of this video that could be a problem for the future of this key. I briefly went over the sort of trades and barters people are putting up on the flea market for the Merin Key, but what does that equate to in actual rubles? Well, looking at it on average, you're going to have to spend 10 to 15 million rubles just to get the items you need in order to purchase the Merin Key for a barter. That's a lot of money for a key. A lot of money. But that could be also negated if you have those items just sitting about in your inventory, or you're lucky enough to find it. You can find this key a couple of ways. You can get it from your lucky scav junk box in your hideout. You can get it yourself by just spawning in as a scav and getting lucky. You can find it in jackets and pockets of scavs. You can find it in filing cabinets, and you can find it in actual jackets lying around the map. You can't actually find it anywhere else. There's no fixed spawn for this key, and that's what makes it quite a rare key to find. But when you do find it, you can go to the Lighthouse map, more specifically on the highway right by the construction area. If you look towards the petrified tree on top of the cliff and head towards the ditch, towards the shoreline, if you keep running that way, you will see a road that leads to a car park on the left hand side. That small car park has a red Mercedes car in it, and that is your Merin car. You just need to go to the boot or the trunk of that car and you can open that up, and that's where you'll find your goodies. But what sort of items are you going to find in here? Well, it ranges. You can find stims in here and really good valuable loot, as well as military items. So you can find a L1 stimulant, which is what I found a couple of times. You can find a military cable, and you can find bitcoins and everything in between those. So it's quite a good key. You're not going to be finding pack of cigarettes and all that sort of stuff. It's quite good, especially when it's in such a confined space of just one car. But one thing I will mention, even if you don't have the key, run past this car, because a lot of the times you might open the trunk and it be empty, but look underneath the car by laying down and you'll see that there's a couple of items that have fell through while spawning, and they are just lying on the floor free for anyone to take. Now I'm going to cover every single raid from 1 to 100, listing everything that I found and just how much money I made per raid, and then every 10 raids I'll give a total of those 10 raids. So raid 1, we opened it and found a wireless signal transmitter. Nothing else, just one of those. That sold for 111,961 rubles. In raid 2 we actually found a Christmas ornament, and they're not in the game anymore, but just because I was doing this over the Christmas event, I did find these in the car quite a few times, but the baubles are done on rarity as well, white being the most common, red being okay, and purple being the rarest. Now that they're gone from the game, you'll find other valuable items of similar value in here. So for example, the white Christmas ornaments being the most common, they're roughly about 25k rubles, and you'll find an item worth roughly the same amount in there as well. On top of that, I also found a roller wristwatch, which gave us 49,726 rubles when sold, and a total for that raid was 74,726 rubles. In raid 3, we opened it up and found an L1 stim. not a lot of value in that, only 18,898 rubles. Raid 4 we found a GP coin which sells for 30,833 rubles roughly, and a red Christmas ornament which is roughly 50k in value, giving us a total of 80,833 rubles. In Raid 5 we just found a GP coin, so that's another 30,833 rubles. In Raid 6 we found an Acer, which is great, we like those phased array elements especially for crafting solar power. But when that sold, it did give us 110,016 rubles. On top of that we found another GP coin, a VPX, and Meladonin Stim. That's quite a good raid. In total, for everything being sold, we got 290,509 rubles. In Raid 7, we found 2 purple Christmas ornaments. They are both roughly 75k in value, so a nice 150k there. In Raid 8, we found an Iridium, which is 56,114 rubles, nothing else. In Raid 9, we found 90 euros. And on top of that, we also found a military cable worth 72,000 rubles. So on top of that, when converting the euros into ruble value, it gave us about 85,939 rubles in terms of total gain from this raid. And in Raid 10, we just found a military cable. That's another 72,889 rubles. So from raids 1 to 10, we made 972,702 rubles. Not bad if that was just that. But obviously, when you're spending 10-15 million on the key, it's not enough, so we need to keep going. In Raid 11, we found a VPX, that's 111,000 rubles. We found a Meladonin Stim, which is 37,000 rubles, and that gives us a total for that raid being 149,660 rubles. And then in Raid 12, we found another purple Christmas ornament, so roughly 75k in value. We found another Meladonin Stim, and that gave us a total of 112,833 rubles for that run. Some consider the number 13 to be quite an unlucky number, but I sure don't, because Raid 13 gave us our first Bitcoin, which sold for 272,589 rubles. On top of that, we also found a skull ring worth 61,000 rubles, a mule stim which is 87,000 rubles and some change, so total for that raid was 421,674 rubles. If you can get that every single run, that would be lovely. In Raid 14, we found an Iridium, a skull ring, and a Meladonin Stim, giving us 155,428 rubles in total gain. And then at Raid 15, we found another Iridium and a purple Christmas tree ornament. So again, 75k in rubles for the purple Christmas tree ornament and 56,000 for the Iridium, giving us 131,114 rubles for that run. And then in Raid 16, we just got a VPX, nothing else. And that is 111,827 rubles, which is not bad, but you could expect more. And then Raid 17, we got a purple Christmas ornament again. You're finding a lot of these rarer Christmas ornaments, so you'll find a lot of rare items in replacing of these, which is good. So that's another 75k rubles for us. And now in Raid 18, we found a Veritas guitar pick, that's 34,683 rubles. Good, and you know, you could expect more, but still, it's better than nothing. Like Raid 19, where you open it and it's literally empty. Nothing on the floor, nothing in the trunk, empty. 0 rubles for that run. And in Raid 20, we found $85, a wireless signal transmitter, and a GP coin, totaling 152,994 rubles. After Raid 19 though, you'd expect at least 62 bitcoins in the trunk to make up for my heartache when finding out that the trunk can actually spawn empty, and it did a few more times. But from raids 11 to raids 20, we made 1,345,212 rubles in total for those 10 runs. Not bad, better than before, but still, after buying loadouts to go on Lighthouse and trying to get out every single run, that's still a lot of risk to reward. Now in raids 21, we found 2 roller watches. They are both 49,726 rubles each, and we also found a mule stim which is 87,000 rubles. So in total we got 187,055 rubles, which, yeah, good, decent, not bad. Raid 22 however brought me back to heartache because it was empty again, completely empty, nothing on the floor as well, so another 0 rubles. Things didn't improve much for raid 23. We did find something, but it was just an L1 stim, so we only got 18,898 rubles for that run. And in raid 24 we found an iridium, a cyclone rechargeable battery, which is 56,070 rubles in total. So as a total for that whole raid, we found 112,184 in the trunk of the Merin Car. In raid 25, it was empty again. I wasn't having the best luck and I was starting to get frustrated, but that's another grand total of 0 rubles. In raid 26, we found another iridium and another VPX, so that's 167,941 rubles. And in raid 27, we found another cyclone rechargeable battery, so another 56,070 rubles for that. And in raid 28, we found 79 rubles just lying there. We got a Vertex, we got a pro kill medallion, so they're about 62,000 rubles on the Flea as well. So in total, 156,192 rubles. In raid 29, we found another military cable and another Veritas guitar pick, so 107,572 rubles for that run. And then raid 30, we found a GP coin, so another 30,833 rubles for that one. Total from the raids 21 to 30, so those 10 raids, was 836,745 rubles, which is not bad considering in 2 of those 10 raids we didn't have anything. So not bad, but still, when you're opening the trunk to find nothing, it's a little bit disheartening. Now for raid 31, we found 2 pro kill medallions. They sold for 62,660 rubles each. We found 2 white Christmas ornaments, which, like I said earlier, are each 25k in value, and we found a gold chain, so 29,600 rubles there. In total for raid 31, we got 204,920 rubles, not bad at all. In raid 32, we found a mule stim, a Meladonin stim, and a Veritas guitar pick, totaling 160,119 rubles total. In raid 33, we found 2 skull rings and a pro kill medallion, so 185,622 in total. In raid 34, we found another Aesa and a purple Christmas tree ornament, so in total, including the 75,000 for the Christmas tree ornament, we made 185,016 rubles. In raid 35, we found a Vertex, which is 81,682 rubles in value, and an L1 stim, so just over 100,000 total for this one, 100,580 rubles. In raid 36, we found a GP coin, a Vertex, and a chainlet. Chainlets are not very expensive, only 5,957 for that one, but totaling this raid, we made 118,472 rubles. In raid 37, we found another L1 stim all on its own, so another 18,898 rubles. And in raid 38, we found a Vertex and an L1 stim, giving us 100,580 rubles. In raid 39, we got a skull ring and a military cable, totaling 134,370 rubles. And in raid 40, we found a skull ring and another skull ring, and a silver Sheriff's Eli badge, so totaling 159,607 for that raid. So in total from raids 31 to 40, we made 1,368,184 rubles. Again, not bad. We didn't have any empty trunks, which is great. But let's carry on to our halfway point. In raid 41, we got a GP coin and a Meladonin stim, so that's 68,666 rubles for that one. And in raid 42, we just found a Sheriff's Eli badge, so the silver badge sells for 36,645 rubles on its own. And in raid 43, we found a Bitcoin and a roller watch, giving us a total for that raid as 322,315 rubles. Not bad at all. And in raid 44, we kept it going with a decent one, giving us a wireless signal transmitter and an L1 stim. That's 130,859 rubles. In raid 45, we found a Bitcoin just on its own, so that's another 272,589 rubles. In raid 46, we found a Meladonin stim on its own, so 37,833 for that raid. In raid 47, we found a Bitcoin and a mule stim and 54 euros, so total for that raid is 363,292 rubles. And then raid 48, we found another Bitcoin. This is what I like to see. This is right here what I like to see. we found a Bitcoin and a silver badge in this raid, so 309,234 rubles. And then it all goes downhill because in raid 49 it was empty again, so 0 rubles there. And then in raid 50 we found a Vertex, a wireless signal transmitter, and a Veritas guitar pick, giving us 228,326 rubles total in that raid. This was more like it. Raids 41 to 50, they're the go-to ones. We found 1,769,759 rubles worth of loot, and that's just in 10 runs. So total in all so far, we've made a decent amount of money, and yeah, it's not bad, but sometimes you do really get let down. Let's blast past the halfway point now. In raid 51 we found a GP coin all on its own, so that's 30,833 rubles. And in raid 52 we found another GP coin, so again another 30,833 rubles. In raid 53 we got a Vertex, a Cyclone rechargeable battery, and a military cable, totaling us 210,641 rubles for that raid. And then in raid 54 we found an Iridium sitting there on its own, so that's 56,114 rubles. In raid 55 just $94 sitting there. In raid 56 we got a Pro Kill medallion and a Veritas guitar pick, so that was a total of 97,343 rubles for that raid. In raid 57 we got an Acer, that's 110,016 rubles right there. In raid 58 we got an L1 stim, again all on its own, 18,898 rubles for that one. And then raid 59 we got $74 and a roller watch, so a total of roughly 58,606 rubles for that raid. And then raid 60, it was empty again. From raids 51 to 60 we made 624,564 rubles for them runs. Not great considering we've basically dropped 1.1 mil from the last 10, but still we carry on. Raid 61 we got a VPX and a Pro Kill medallion, so that's 174,487 rubles for that run. In raid 62 we got 2 Aces just piled on top of each other, so 220,032 rubles for that one. In raid 63 it was empty, so another grand total of 0 rubles. In raid 64 there was a Melatonin stim and an Iridium, so that's 93,947 rubles for that run. In raid 65 we got a roller watch. In raid 66 and in raid 67, both of the times those were empty, so again 0 rubles. 2 empty ones on a trot, hated my life. And then in raid 68 we got a 36 euros just lying there and a chainlet, so that came to a total of a massive 11,357 rubles. Better than 0, but still not great. And in raid 69 you'd think that that'd be, you know, it's a funny number, you'd think it'd be a good one. Not great. An Iridium and a Pro Kill medallion totaling 118,774 rubles. And in raid 70 we got a chainlet and a wireless signal transmitter, so a total of 117,918 rubles for that run, giving us a total of raids 61 to 70 at 786,241 rubles. Raid 71 got us a GP coin and a Vertex, so 112,515 rubles for that run. In raid 72 we just got a Melatonin stim, so another 37,833 when that sold. And in raid 73 we got a Veritas guitar pick and 81 euros, so a total of 46,833 for that one right there. And then in raid 74 we got a roller watch and a gold chain, so 79,326 rubles. And then in raid 75 we got a GP coin just on its own, another 30,833 rubles for that. In raid 76 another GP coin just on its own, another 30,833 rubles. You know, you can sort of get the pattern in what we're finding the most here. And then in raid 77 we got a roller watch just sitting there on its own. And in raid 78 we got a roller watch, a silver badge, a skull ring and a chainlet, so that totals 153,809 rubles for that run. And in raid 79 we got 86 euros just there, just on its own, nothing else. And in raid 80 we got a Vertex, we got a Cyclone rechargeable battery and an L1 stim, so another 156,650 rubles right there Although there was no empty trunks, these 10 raids were one of the lowest that we got. So a total for 71 to 80, we only got 711,258 rubles for all 10 raids. Not the best, but at least we didn't get empty ones all the time. In raid 81, I shat myself. We got 2 bitcoins and an iridium and $70, and that was my most profitable run ever. 609,692 rubles for that one run alone. Really, really nice. Raid 82, let the team down a little bit, just an iridium and 53 euros, so that raid total is 64,064 rubles. In raid 83, let us down even more, we just got a chainlet, so that another 5,957 rubles for that. And in raid 84, we got an L1 stim, an AESA, and a gold chain, so 158,514 rubles for that. In raid 85, we got a roller watch on its own, so another 49,726 when that one sold. In raid 86, we got a cyclone rechargeable battery and a chainlet, so that totals 62,027 rubles for that raid. In raid 87, we got a L1 stim, that's 18,898 rubles once again. In raid 88, we got an AESA and a melatonin stim, another 147,849 rubles in our bank. Nice, and we're getting quite a few AESAs, which is good, especially for solar power, as I mentioned. In raid 89, we found a Vertex on its own, so that's another 81,682 rubles. And in raid 90, we got a melatonin stim and a GP coin, totaling for that raid 68,666 rubles. Totals from 81 to 90, we got 1,267,075 rubles. Not bad, and we're nearly at the end. Can you tell that my voice is starting to die and I feel like death? But never mind, we're going to keep going. Raid 91, we got a Vertex on its own, 81,682 rubles. In raid 92, we got a melatonin stim on its own, another 37,833 rubles. In raid 93, we got a GP coin and a melatonin stim, so once again, another 68,666 rubles totaling that run. In raid 94, we got a skull ring, and that is 61,481 rubles. In raid 95, we got an L1 stim and a melatonin stim, just stims in that one, 56,731 rubles. In raid 96, we got a roller watch, a cyclone rechargeable battery, and $51, giving us a total in rubles for that raid at 111,916 rubles. In raid 97, we got a Veritas guitar pick and a cyclone rechargeable battery, so that is a total of 90,753 rubles. And then in raid 98, we got a Veritas guitar pick again and a skull ring this time rather than a rechargeable battery, so 96,164 rubles there. And in raid 99, we're almost there, Sam, voice, hang in there, we got a Vertex on its own, 81,682 rubles for that raid. And finally, raid 100, you'd think it'd be a good one, but it ain't that great. We found a silver badge and a Vertex and 44 euros, so a total for that final run, 124,927 rubles. A total for raids 91 to 100, we made 811,835 rubles. So we're making anywhere from 500,000 to nearly 2 million, depending on what you're finding in here. It does vary, but if you want to know how much money we made overall from raids 1 to raid 100, we made 10,493,575 rubles. And you may think, wow, Sam, that's a lot of money. But then you think, how much did you pay to actually get the key in the first place if you didn't find it? And it's about that. You're breaking even before you need to buy a new key again. And sure, it's dependent on RNG. You could find bitcoins every run, but you could also find L1 stims or empty trunks every run. You can't make a guess, it's completely random. But these 100 raids definitely give you an insight on what you're going to be making. There's a really good average here, and it's roughly breaking even, and for a key that sells that much on the flea market, it's not worth it for the price people are putting it up at. So, if you find your key, 100% sell it while you can. And if the price drops after this video, keep it, run some raids, you might find some bitcoins. The great thing about this trunk is it's so confined, so you can find everything in one location, and also you can find some really good items for later on quests. You got aces for solar power, you got signal transmitters and vertexes for Lend-Lease Part 2, you got a ton of different things that you can find in here that you'll need for future tasks that you might want to hang on to. So if you've got a friend with the key that's already used it or it's not found in raid, then don't worry about selling it, because you can't make any money from the therapist by selling the key, but what you can do is run a couple and see what you find. All that work to break even, but you know what, I'd do it for you guys, so it doesn't matter. But what you can do to show your support if you did enjoy the video is like it, because it really does help the channel out. Comment for the YouTube algorithm and all that sort of stuff. And if you want to see any other keys reviewed or talked about next, let me know. I will do some. I might not do all 100 raids if it's 100 out of 100 for a key, but you know, it depends on my mood, doesn't it? This key, not bad, but you can get better, and if you got it found in raids sitting in your inventory, sell it while you can, because that's where you're going to make your money. That being said, I also want to hear from you down below in the comments. What do you think of this key? Have you run it yet yourself? And if you need any questions answered, I'm always down there as well, but I'm not going to keep this video longer than it already is. There was a lot of information in here and a lot of rambling. My voice is killing me. I'm going to go and piss myself. I'll see you later. I love you lots.